everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Three Dads and a Console. We know not every dad can stay up to date on the latest and greatest video game news that you need to know about, so we are here to do it for you. And remember that this show is kid-friendly, so no earmuffs are needed. Now on with the show. I'm one of your hosts, Wobble Plays, alongside Court. Court, what's going on?
What have I been up to?
Yeah.
You got new way we do things.
I'm paraphrasing.
Are you paraphrasing?
Yeah.
Well, my daughter this weekend she got to play against a rep team, and we got smoked.
Cool.
So the first game we lost 10 to nothing, and then the next game we had to drive an hour north of even where I live, which is even north.
Which is quite north.
Yeah, it's quite north. And we lost another game, but 4-1. But you know what? It's good for the kids. It's good for the hockey. It's good to play against some good teams. But to be totally honest, the only thing that's going on here in my house is trade deadline, man. This is like Christmas for me. I'm taking Friday off work. Like it's like a thing. It's a big thing. And like, you know, one of my two teams just got a very good hockey player in Noah Hannafin, so that's pretty cool.
Pretty good.
But that's about it. I'm playing video game. I stopped playing NHL just recently. Well, I started playing another game. I can't talk about that yet.
Well, it's also because NHL's event stinks, and we'll talk about that later in the show.
Yeah, my video.
Yes, we will.
I meant what I said about that event. This is 2 events in a row where I feel just poopy, just doo-doo. That's all I'm gonna say. Doo-doo. But MLB The Show's coming out, and it looks good.
It's pretty.
Just a few weeks.
Pretty good.
Also, that other voice you hear is Pez. Pez, what have you been up to?
Oh, I have been playing a lovely game called Balatro.
Dreaming it too,
dude. Can't stop, man. Can't stop. Have you tried any black deck runs yet?
No, I haven't. I don't think I've made it that far. What's the modifier on that?
It is +1 extra joker slot, but -1 hand size.
Oh no, I value
tough. It's really tough.
Yeah, that's a tough trade, but I like that they give you that option.
So I've been playing Balatro, still been playing Helldivers. Just doing a little hanging and banging. I have been playing Assassin's Creed Nexus VR, by the way. So I have been playing it. It's pretty fun.
Now, Pez, as someone that is a between you and I, we are the Assassin's Creed aficionados for this podcast here. Do I feel like I'm Ezio? Do I want to go like this? Like while I'm like
you can't. Hey, well, you can't go like this. You can't go like this because you have to grab your. This is how it is, Cord. Okay. First off, you're in Italy. Okay. The opening mission is you have to go find your sword. So you're like climbing up these, and it's not like the Skyrim thing where you just teleport up to the next like level or across the map. You actually move your guy with like the thumbstick. But it does these really cool things where all of a sudden your guy is crouched and you have to hold like the inside of the wand, flick your wrist forward, and the blade comes out. Like the assassin blade that's on your wrist. That comes out. So when you go to assassinate someone, you have to like literally hold your wrist like this and like push forward. You can pull his sword out, or you can use the sword. It's great. Like the indicators is the same in terms of like stealthing around. What I found really cool is the climbing. So as you know, in Assassin's Creed, you climb stuff. First off, for all the people that would complain about it, there is no yellow bars, so don't worry about it. So team no yellow, take a W on this one. But you actually have to like motion your hands up like you're climbing a wall, and it isn't instant. So like you could climb up and go up, and if you like reach up to grab another ledge, and if you let go of the controller too early, you'll fall. There's also, it feels weighty, and I don't know if that's just because the wands have something in them, but as you're like moving along the ledge sideways to go to the next thing, you can fall and like hurt yourself. So it's really, really good. I really like it. So I'm going to have a review on 3dadsconsole.com, and hopefully I'm going to get footage to do a video review, but I'm still figuring out how to do that.
Here we go.
It's great. It's good.
Could you, because I guess it's so hard to capture the footage, right? You probably could just use like
I could
the trailer.
I could also like cast it to my PC, but I don't know how that footage would come out. I did it once and it was kind of like grainy and crappy, so who knows. Yeah, but what about you, Wabba? What have you been up to on this?
I've been
lovely
playing
week?
some Balatro as well. That game is so good. I did a video review for us. And the reason why it took so long is because every time I went to capture footage, I just ended up playing for hours. That game slaps, and I know we talked about it, so that game's awesome.
A lot of people are really liking it. Like I have like FOMO.
It's really good.
I
like
mean, just jump in, Court. Just jump in.
I'm kind of busy.
It's so
Fair.
easy to pick up too.
But it is like, honestly, if you spend a few hours with it, one, you would figure out the game, and two, I think you know it'd be like, okay, I can see what's going on.
There have been times where I'm streaming it, and next thing I know, it's 2.5 hours later, and it just feels like has been minutes.
Feels like I'm falling from the first time. Sorry, as soon as you said it, all I could think about was that Panic Ladies song.
I also I introduced my daughter. So I had to take her to and from daycare for the past few days, and I have a CD player in my car because I'm old, and
Seriously?
I have all my old mixtapes from like high school that I saved in my storage unit. So I've been playing
How
those.
would tapes go in a CD player?
I mean, mix CDs. back when Bear Share and Kazaa. Actually, no, it was I have all my legally bought CDs. No Metallica. Don't worry.
Baba, when we don't have to say, we all burned everything. It's okay.
I know. I'm trying to. I can't go back.
I downloaded so much Metallica on Napster. I'm not even gonna lie to you about it.
And I buried it in my backyard.
Right there with you.
So 2 songs I found that she likes. One is Jim Jones' Ballin'. We went to like the grocery store this weekend. She's like, you know it, ballin', you know it, over and over for like 20 minutes. I was so proud. And today I showed her Captain Kelly's Kitchen from Dropkick Murphys.
I like that song.
And she's like, can we talk? Can we listen to the Yelling Guys again? And so I played her like Tessie, and I played her all this stuff. And we were watching it, like, she's like, oh, I love the Murphys. I love the Murphys. And I showed her like a video, and she's like, who's that? Is that a Murphy? And I'm like, yeah, that's one of them. She's like, I thought he would be like a big head and big feet and a big nose. I'm like, did you think that Dropkick Murphy? Because I said they were St. Patrick's Day music. I'm like, did you think they were leprechauns? And she's like, yeah. Well, and I said, by the way, when we went to the Biggie, which is a giant like festival out Western Mass, they were playing. And as soon as I heard them play, I took her and we went over to the closest spot you could get without being able to go in.
I saw
them
live at the outdoor game.
Oh, that's
yes, you did.
Jelly.
At Fenway Park.
But
hey,
yeah.
Guys, do you realize that we're in Boston? I'm in Boston
in
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2
weeks from tomorrow.
Two Kevin weeks.
No. You would say 3 Kevin weeks because one of those Kevin weeks is a lie.
Oh my gosh. 2 weeks in a lie.
Take that, Kevin.
So that's what's been going on.
I don't think it is, Pez. I think there's too many people that are talking about the same supposed lie that you keep talking about.
That is, listen, I'm not saying he's right, nor am I saying he's wrong. I'm saying I just don't believe him.
You don't believe anyone.
That's it.
I believe I can fly.
If it ain't Elliot Friedman and his 32 thoughts, I don't want to hear it.
Good answer.
Or if we could get Bobby Margaritas out of retirement.
So let's what do we want to dive into first? Do we want to hell dive into the first topic?
Sure.
So yeah, sure.
Hell dive.
I get it. We could
so Helldivers just came out with I know we talked about it last week.
A little side of Liberté.
Oh, so Xbox, not Xbox. Helldivers 2. So I was reading the text.
Hold on. Rewind.
I was reading the text. Helldivers 2 is coming out with, they actually already came out with an update, and it has a bunch of different features. They did some balancing. They did some stat balancing. They also made the like armor and outfits actually do the thing that they said they would do, which is great. But they also did a bunch of other fun things like dynamic weather, and the big one that was kind of already out there, but that's fine. Mechs.
No, hold on. Mechs isn't there yet.
Not yet.
No,
Oh,
Mechs
yeah.
isn't there yet.
They are
It's
going
okay.
to be there.
But it's
You're not
happening.
They're
reading.
not. They are
Obviously,
officially announced.
Waba is not reading from Three Dads in the Console because I would have put in there. I had two separate articles. One was teasing of the Mechs. We won't get into the rumors. There already is videos. If you want to go look it up, there already is videos. People have data mined. The Mechs exist. We know what they look like. But we didn't talk about it because we don't talk about rumors, especially on a game we love so much. I have to say the dynamic weather though, Pez. Just think about this. In a game where it is so fun to die, there is a new way to die in this game. You can now die from a fire tornado or a meteor shower. Like just think about this, Pez. Like you've called in to leave, and all of a sudden a meteor hits you in the head and kills you.
The
You don't have
fact,
enough to worry about.
the fact that there is fire tornadoes is
Dude, so
insane.
cool.
And they've already done dynamic weather. Like they have rain, they have fog, but like this is so different. And super jazzed to jump in. Actually, I might play post podcast because I want to check it out. But yeah, I love
saw
it. Sorry, Wab, but all the babies
Okay.
on Reddit are crying that their railgun.
That's what I was gonna bring up.
Their railgun got nerfed and the shield backpack got nerfed. But you know what? Good on you, Arrowhead Studios, because that's what you should do to not develop a meta. Because, and the thing is, I feel like for the most part, Helldivers did a pretty good job balancing their weapons. They're just saying, okay, these ones are used by like everybody. We're going to nerf them a bit. So then everything is viable across the board. So all you babies out there kicking people that don't want to run the meta builds, go kick rocks instead.
Dude, you know what I love the most about all this? Is the fact that did you see the developer? He put out the tweet. He was like, there is no meta build. Stop making these videos. Like he made fun of people. He's like, stop writing your articles, stop making your videos. They hide the stats of the guns. So he's like, you're all wrong.
Yeah,
And
there's
so
no
when they
such
nerfed the
thing as a
guns,
meta
everybody got
build.
mad. And that's what he said. There's no such thing as a meta build.
There
It's
doesn't
just-
need to be.
Ugh, you just have people being just being pains in the butts about because like they want the railgun, so when the charger's coming, you can blow its armor off. But like, look, other weapons do that too. I don't want to use the railgun.
Just
I
dive
want-
to the left like an adult.
I want to use my spear, man. I want to lock a rocket onto that thing's head as it's charging at me and fire it off and watch it hit it in the face. That's what I want to do. So if you want to kick me, go right ahead. But stop being a baby about it.
Who's a baby?
It's so weird. The community is so
guys on
split
Reddit.
between like Reddit. So one thing I thought was interesting about Reddit, obviously, again, I'm a little disappointed that like this stuff leaked or that people are like digging, and I get that you're excited, but like keep it to yourself. Obviously, people aren't going to do that because
What
clicks.
the Mechs?
Exactly. But one of the things I thought
PC
was
players are going to find everything.
a
dude.
bunch of nerds. But one of the things I thought was fun was that they did a post. I don't know if it was one of their mods or one of their staff saying, please don't post this stuff. It's, that type of stuff is experimental. Like, a lot of legitimate reasons. And then in all bold, it said, please do not divulge potential weaponry that the Helldivers are, that's being developed for the Helldivers. You do not want to give any input that our enemies could use against Super Earth. And I was like, that is so cool that like, okay, you're being serious, but then you're adding like this tongue in cheek, like, because everybody like just cosplays like some like hell diving zealot online. It's so funny that
It's so
people are just like just role playing. So it's like, of course, like we don't want them to know all this stuff that we got in the background, so then they can counter it. And I was like, I was more taken with that answer. I was like, you know what? They're kind of right. That was the answer that resonated with me more than the whole, all the other nerdy stuff. But
it's great. They're just so great. Speaking of like that, how everyone's into this, legit on Twitch, not Twitch, Twitter, someone did sample patches of Malavon Creek. It says like Malavon Creek, and then there's like the ribbons, and then it says veteran. And then there's another circle one, and it has like an eagle holding a bomb, and it says like eagle strikes. Then under it says eagles never miss. It looks amazing.
Dude, I love the fact that they
truthfully.
interact so well with the community. Like people do
They
art
do.
and they like put it up on their. They have done such a masterful job, and I will use the word masterful job of interacting with the community. Even when people like today, when they were like they nerfed our guns, so many people stood up for them and attacked the people attacking them.
Yep.
Like it was good to see because the game is so much fun. I love it. It's one of those games that I'm not going to be taking off my console. It's going to just stay there and I can play it whenever I want. And they also don't have like ridiculously extremely large upgrades like Call of Duty when they're like, hey, here's this download this new patch and it's like half a game. They don't have any of that. It's just great. Sorry.
No, fair point, fair, valid. But it's exciting. And now that like, they're starting to announce like, hey, here's the upcoming like roadmap and things like that. I'm glad because now we can finally talk about those things. Again, we don't really like to talk about rumors. We don't like to talk about leaks. Let other people worry about that. But now that they're actually talking about what they're going to be putting in the game, very excited. And it's going to be interesting because it's a new way to keep it fresh in a gameplay loop that I would already consider fresh each time. So it's nice that they're like not waiting. They're immediately like hitting the ground running.
Nobody. So fresh and
Fresh and so clean. But next up, do we want to talk a little bit about NHL since we talked about a game?
We'll let you go on your
yes, rant away, my friend.
Okay, so full disclosure, Court already has a very good rant on YouTube about this. So
you were surprised, eh?
I was actually very excited. And I fair, valid, agree with a lot of it. But we again, you guys are talking about NHL again. Yes. If you don't like it, go fast forward 4 minutes because this is not just about the game. This is about like something I feel like, at least from my perspective, that I have refused to acknowledge for a long time, and I feel like it finally awoke within me. But the content team doesn't play this, and I'm very sure of it at this point.
Dude, your audio did not want this to happen.
Good. But I do not believe at this point that the content team is full of people that play this game to the extent that their community does. And let me explain. So they came out with an event that is impossible to do. And when I say impossible, like mathematically, someone wrote a Python script and calculated how much potential coin you may need to do it. And it was 1.5 million coins to be able to do it from the ground up. That's using a Python script. That's not, and for those, like, that's basically a robot doing math to figure this out. This isn't like me and my spreadsheet. So what they did last event was they said you can build a 93 card the easy way, the normal way. But if you want a good one, you have to add these other collectibles that you get. And it's like, okay, people kind of like that. People took advantage of that. And if you didn't, guess what? It was fine. But they said, you know what? They liked that. So we're going to do it for everything. So to upgrade your player, you have to get a certain player specific collectible that you can only get through a pack that gives you a random drop. So to collect 5 of the one that you want is like extremely statistically unfavorable. And it no longer is fun. And it no longer incentivizes people to play. And the worst part is, at a time, this 2-week period is so critical because it is happening right before the show steals all your players that you can't just blow in from Stupid Town and give this type of effort. You have to come correct and convince people to stay to play your game. And if you can't, they're going to leave, especially your Xbox players, because they're going to get that game for free.
Not even that. I'm a huge hockey fan, like huge. I take Friday off of trade deadline because I want to just live and breathe hockey. And the fact that these new cards, even this Taylor Hall card, they make it everything difficult. Like this trade deadline cards, these should be 93 cards you can earn. 94 cards, you could just earn them. You shouldn't have to do this crazy upgrade system. They're penny pinching to the max, and they're not treating anybody with respect. And it's got to stop. So their player base, I can already tell. You can already look at streamers online. I already checked it out. There's no one playing this game now.
It's unfortunate because, again, this is such a critical time and it's such a fun event. But they decided to... I like to give these types of companies the benefit of the doubt and try to look at all angles why they would do this. And the only reason I can see is because they want to subtract cards from the game to make it harder to build the next big upcoming event, which is Team of the Season.
But that doesn't make any sense. Like
it does, because the less cards you have in circulation, the more packs you have to buy.
If you want people, so like because we're about to talk, because this will lead into a game that Pez and I both love. And they even changed, like they brought out season sets last year, and we were like, this is garbage. Seasons actually make sense. It should just be at the very beginning of the year, the cards are less. And as they get going, they get better. The fact that there's some of their X Factor cards, and I said this in my rant, have MSPs makes absolutely no sense. The X Factor card should be every player on a team can become an X Factor card. You got to bring hype. So if you want people to really get into this, you should have it so that a player's card can actually go up or down based on their play, but you also have those MSPs that you can earn. And those MSPs you earn by playing the game, not from like grinding out and buying coins, from playing the game. Because the more people you play the game, the more people are playing the game. But the way they've done it is they've just decided to like, hey, here's these cards that look really cool because like the Patty Kane and the Mark Stone, those are cool cards, but we can't get them. And they're like, well, we're gonna have another event. So instead of the last 4 weeks of the garbage events, now they're gonna have this because Austin Matthews was a cool card, but then when Dougie Hamilton's a card, that doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, he's out.
It doesn't make any sense though.
Yeah, for the elites event, Douglas Hamilton blocks everyone on Twitter who posts Bruin stuff. But like, here's okay. So what's the reaction? Very negative reaction from everybody. What do? They give you a free pack that gives you 3 potential collectibles to get your thing. Okay, it's still like random and dumb. Yeah, you can get in the store like 1 a day for the next like week, and then they give you if you do these really easy things, you can get a choice pack for an 86 plus. Okay, cool. Like, I will say I respect them trying to like do better. But like at the same time, like I feel like the decision before should have made a little more sense. And I feel like again, this is kind of like opening my eyes to like a lot like the X Factor progression is also very confusing. Like you have people that like again are tied to a card that goes up +1 based on the
I
goals.
didn't even know they gave this free pack.
Yeah,
And I
because they
haven't
didn't
been going in
advertise
the
it.
store.
Because they didn't advertise it. But like so you have X Factors that are going up. Then you have X Factors. I will say like Haruka Toko. Women's player for Japan who is still an 83. They just forgot about her. And also, I will put up on this, like I feel like they make a big push to put women in the game and then they don't upgrade their cards. So that's one example. The other two is there are for the team of the year cards, 12 of them. There are 2 cards who have not been upgraded. There's a left defender. Her first name is Caroline, and then there's I think her name's Erin. She's the goalie for the Boston team. They're still in 92, which means they have not gotten upgrades in since December.
One thing I don't get about NHL this year is at the very beginning of the year, it was like they were listening to the community and they were doing things for the game.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they were like, yeah, we're good.
But it's just like they'll say one thing and then do a different, like with like again to the kind of going back to the team of the year for the women. It's like if you're trying to grow the game and emphasize that women are in the game, and I will say there's already an ignorant narrative out there I don't want to go into. But like, why would you not?
One of the best cards in the game.
But why would you not have those cards progress as the same as the others? Basically, like, why would you create like? You should be able to generate the same amount of hype regardless of which players are on for team of the week or team of the year for like the biggest event. Like, and it shows like they're not doing it, and it has to be on purpose at this point because how do you progress everybody else? And there's still 2 cards that haven't progressed. And look at the X Factors. You can definitely see like there are definitely some cards that are getting, and there's like it's interesting. And like again, like you said at the beginning of the year, they said, okay, we're gonna do, we did these videos, we're gonna do, involve these creators, we're gonna, have sit downs, we're gonna be more transparent, and they're not. They even said they're gonna make an official Discord, which they didn't do, which I think that's a good move. But like, why would you say you would do all these things and then not?
They should have done an app. The fact that there's no apps, like their biggest issue I have with this, it's just like if you're gonna do, all these things, but yet at the same time you have no market. Like I get great cards in a pack, I have no one to sell it to. No one wants to buy them. There's no one there.
Yeah.
The game, unfortunately, I love hockey. The game dies so quickly. It has like a 2-month lifespan and then it just dies. And it's their own fault.
Well, and the offline modes aren't good enough to carry it.
That's
That's another problem.
Right.
And like also like I just sorry, I'm like trying to like but they choose
I feel like
to
you
make
want to cry.
no, it's just like they choose to like make weird decisions at certain times. There's again a level of inconsistency. They removed content 2 days of the week. So they said we're gonna go from 5 days a week, weekdays, to 3. and give you better content. They made a decision last year. And this year, the content is exactly the same as it was. I've not seen an improvement in it, but there's still 2 less days. So if you get let's say there's a card, like a fantasy card, they get +1 every single goal they get. These were, big deal cards. There's a few 99s. If have that card and I get a goal, content comes out at 5 p.m. I get a goal at 5:01 on Friday. I have to wait Friday evening, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. There's no content on Monday. I have to wait until Tuesday.
Happy days. I'm sorry.
I find that
Come on.
like it's like I have to wait 3 to 5 business days to have my card upgrade. But oh yeah, by the way, for the All-Star event, where they updated that immediately over the weekend. Why are you able to do it then for a 2-day event, but not for your cards that you're like pushing? Like seriously, just hire someone, pay him overtime, outsource somebody to hit a button.
All right. What's the point of the All-Star event, though?
It's an example that they have the technology to do the thing that they're not doing with the other things that are similar.
You had to buy cards to get those cards. It was terrible.
No, I'm not saying the event was great. I'm saying they have the technology to be able to update cards in real time on the weekend. Why can they not do it during the week? Why do I have to wait 3 to 5 business days?
Do you want to know a game that could do all this that you're asking for? It's coming out on March 18th.
And honestly, you're going to see a lot of NHL players gravitate to it, and it's unfortunate that this was their last big hurrah.
It's called MLB The Show 24. And this year in MLB The Show 24, not only are they getting rid of sets and they're doing seasons, and seasons are really just what we used to have in the past. I've read so much on it now. It's progression. There's no 99s off the bat. It is progression. We'll start crappy and we'll get good. So it'll actually give us almost like 2 fresh games, if you know what I mean. So we'll have like a whole thing of grinding, and then we're like, oh, we get to do it all over again, which is fine. Plus, you unlock the wild cards yourself. So as long as you play the game, you have a wild card spots, which is it rewards the players. But now we get females in the game, which is about time. Kaz?
Yeah, so for those that weren't paying attention, Tuesday? What today is?
You would have kept going while I had to stop you.
I'm glad you did.
Women are coming to MLB The Show 24. Currently unannounced on how, but it is believed it's Road to the Show. Included in that trailer as well is a draft combine screen. Unsure what it is, but it's really exciting because if there's one thing I can say about Road to the Show, it's that it does not do pre-draft things well. There were times 1920 where like you could play like 3 games, and based on your 3 games you go into a thing. Now it's just like, oh hey Ace, who do you want to go play for? And you're like, oh, I want to play for the Pirates, and all of a sudden you walk out in your Pirates gear and that's it. And it's like, what come on.
Well, no, something. you had to keep asking for certain things, and then you could go play for the Pirates.
Yeah, I was like, give me something. So it's something they gave us. So there will be a draft combine, and again, you can play as a woman ball player, which I think is great. Other people on the internet for some reason don't agree. Even though they're upset it's not real, but Lefty Grove is thrown to Babe Ruth, who is, playing outfield with friggin' Gary Sheffield. So realism. So I'm really excited. Going to be playing it on the 18th for sure. Really hoping tomorrow there's going to be a feature presentation.
Did you see that? I think the feature presentation tomorrow is going to be pretty good.
It's about ratings, but I really hope there's more. I haven't really been online today, so I'm not 100% sure what's part of it, but give me some stuff for franchise in March to October and Road to the Show, because there's usually a time when I just check out of Diamond Dynasty because it's too grindy and I don't feel like doing it. But yeah, I'm hoping the offline modes get some love, but we'll see.
I have a funny feeling because the one thing I when I was reading in that very first feature presentation, they made a very big point to talk about not just that Vladdy, my boy, is on the cover, but that whatever way you play the game, you're going to get rewarded. That tells me that the offline mode is going to be just as good as the online mode. They did say that people, if you do the online mode, you only have to win 10 now instead of, what was it, 12 last time?
Yeah.
The Battle Royale. there are going to be better cards there, but that totally makes sense. If you're grinding it out and then winning 10 in a row, you should get a very cool card.
Yeah,
Like,
for
I
sure.
totally get it. But they made a point of saying that there's going to be very cool cards for the offline players as well.
I do hope, and I don't.
And you can change the difficulties to play on whatever difficulty you want, but your card, whatever you get, that's the card will be.
I don't remember if they talked about it, but I do hope there's another offline edition for Diamond Dynasty, because sometimes the checkerboard game, the Chinese checkers game, whatever the heck it's called,
Yeah,
is totally
Conquest.
Conquest is just like, I don't want to do this, man.
It was
And
cool
then
for a few
usually I
days,
like doing
but-
it. I could just rip through like a division and pretty quickly, but there are just some days like, dude, I don't. You look at like half a map and you're like, I'm not doing this. It's too much. It's too
You were
much.
good at it though.
Yeah, I would crush it. There was the show 22, man. Like I was locked in. I put together a really banger team, and then 23 did not care at all. That's usually how it goes though with Ultimate Teams. Is I'll like hyper fixate for a few months and I'll really enjoy it, and then the next year when nothing really changes because none of these online modes really change, I'll just go, ooh, this. I don't want to do this again. I feel like I just finished doing this. And I
know
will
you guys-
say, sorry, I will say NHL is the worst Ultimate Team out of all of them. And the reason I say that is because even though Madden also has Ultimate Team, they do events throughout the year where if you just do like the challenges, you'll get a card. Like
That is
you'll
very good.
like if you do the fantasy football challenges, you'll get like a bunch of cards along the way, but then you turn in the collectibles and you get like a 92 like whatever.
EA's like, hey, we'll give you the beginning base one, but you gotta like grind for, and we're only gonna give you a week to do it. You've got to grind, play the game for 10 hours a day.
That's only
Pretty much.
NHL. Madden, if you don't want to play online, you don't have to. I think they changed it a bit this year. Again, I haven't played Madden Ultimate Team this year because I don't care. I don't care to, but yeah, it just feels like NHL is such an afterthought in the sports world.
I did a 2-hour stream on Madden, and I was able to make like an MSP Gronkowski essentially, which I thought was really cool. It was very like, and it wasn't like a special thing. It was just
One of
There
the
you go.
things they're doing.
I can
pretty
guarantee
cool.
you this about David or about MLB The Show. I know you're an Ortiz fan. You'll be able to make an Ortiz card no matter what. Guarantee it.
that's I like the first week of it because one, it's included, but also two, I got Mookie, so like I like to kind of see what it's all about. I do have a question though about cover athlete, and I thought this last year, but I'm seeing it more this year. So Vladimir Guerrero is a cover athlete.
My boy, yeah.
There's a big hurrah about him, and then they announced
Yeah,
like
he's
the
amazing.
Jeter. I'm not saying he's not, but then they announced the Jeter version. Do you think that takes away from being
No,
a
there is
cover
no-
athlete when you add
Hold
like
on,
an
there's no-
alumni version of a player that I would say has made more of an impact than the original cover athlete?
There is no Jeter version of the game. There's the Negro League cover, and then there is the Vladdy Guerrero. Last year there was a Jeter cover.
That's maybe I'm thinking of that with was it Jazz and Jeter?
Yeah. So this year there's a Negro League cover
Okay.
because MLB The Show goes out of its way to let you know there's more to the game than just the game. So the Negro League edition is unbelievable. The more that they're going into storylines, there's more to it. So if you're a fan of baseball, this is the game for you. Like NHL this year, I thought was going to do that. EA, when they were like, we're going to do these moments and blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, oh, you have to do them all on Superstar. I'm like, what did you just do here? You just took Wayne Gretzky's amazing feat. And you're like, by the way, if you're not like all-star at this game, you can't do it. And the only little bit of production we give you is at the very beginning, which is not much. The way they do storylines on MLB The Show is like ESPN 30 and 30. Am I wrong, Pez? It's unbelievable.
You
It's
are
narrated all the way
correct.
through. And the difficulty is on easy. And in fact, this year they made it so you can actually skip it and you don't even have to do the challenges. You'll still get the player, but you get to watch the whole story that they did because it's about the history of the game. And it's very NHL for me feels a lot like when Brendan Shanahan first took over the Leafs and he started taking everything down from the rinks. And he did all these things in Toronto where he was like, it's not about the history, it's about the game itself. No, if NHL decided to say it's about the history of the game and started doing more of that stuff and gave it an offline mode that actually mattered and gave it an online mode that mattered, It would be instead all NHL is about is, hey, here's Play It Online and GWC. When MLB The Show is about online play, offline play, road to the show. There's so many more aspects to the game that are amazing, and it drives me insane because NHL has the potential. The gameplay is there, but for some reason, they do nothing with regards to the game. Hot moments shouldn't be ridiculously hard to earn things. Should had nothing to do with that. Moments should be just about fun and learning the history of the game and playing it out. It shouldn't be this daunting task that you have to do. You can have other things like the conquest maps they have in baseball. That's hard, but when they do the storylines, they're not difficult. They're just cool to go do. Like I they need to respect the player base more, and the player base will stay because there's so many people in North America and in the world that love hockey, and MLB The Show shows you how to make a sports game. Just copy the damn thing. Just copy it. It's so easy. They've literally Madden, according to Pez, they pretty much copied the way the show does it now. It all makes sense.
You're
But
getting me
EA for
excited to play
NHL,
this
they're
game.
like, nah, we're gonna try and get money from people.
I was gonna say like, yeah, maybe I'll see, because again, I played last year and it was, I have a good experience. Maybe baseball is not for. I do need to play. I don't think the online mode's for me. I think what is it?
I play offline.
The October. I almost
March
said
to
Hunt for Red
October. March to October is the way to go. If you're like, I want to do franchise, but like I don't want to pay attention to the minors, and I just want to play a game like once every 3 weeks, like in calendar 3 weeks, and I want to do a little team management, and like I want to be able to like do my trade block and maybe look at other people's trade blocks. Like that's for you, man. I love March to October. Usually I'm a big like deep dive franchise guy, but I didn't feel like getting into it last year. So I just did like 4 years of March to October and I loved it. I'm looking forward to doing it again.
And also, March to October has a presentation in it. They have a whole setup like it's actually going into like the World Series and all that kind of stuff. But no, once again, EA's like, nah, dog, can't do that. Takes too much effort. We're just gonna slap it together and make everything look the same presentation wise.
They
But
added
we're
the
gonna
cup,
have
which was fun. But
dude, it's not the same. Like March to October literally does like the whole presentation that like ABC baseball does and like zooms in on the field and like and it has these crazy moments. It starts you halfway through the game and it's like bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, and you gotta like it's like, oh my god, it's so good.
though, so I mentioned like I like the cup from NHL, like how you get to like pass and stuff. I found out that if you like are on like the settings I am, which is like an owner mode, like a very stripped down version of like, because I don't want to like do certain things. Like I'll do like free agency, but because I've like relinquished like certain things like head coach, I can't choose who's next. I watch the thing randomly give it to like backup journeyman trade deadline plug fourth liner after the. No, give it to Bedard. I traded everything for me. What is the cup? So I was like, oh man. But
Dude, EA for you.
But now I'm gonna play the show because it is on Xbox Game Pass, which I learned today from our article at 3dadsconsole.com.
And if history is to repeat itself, there should be an Xbox Game Pass like perk of 5 packs or something.
Well, also
free
they're
packs.
giving 5 packs. They're giving 5 packs for anybody who gets the game right off the bat, and they're giving 5 packs once a month.
Packs on packs on packs on
And
packs.
those packs for people that just start the game, they accumulate. So if say you get the game like halfway through the Major League Baseball season, you'll go into your shop and you'll start, and they'll have all these packs for you to open. It's almost like they want you to play the game.
Free packs, man.
And-
Free
and they're,
packs,
like,
best
swimwear.
packs. And unlike a certain on ice game that we've been talking about, they also do Twitch drops
All the
and
time.
stream their game if that blows your mind.
Just, can I qualify? The reason why I'm being so like crazy about NHL and like critical is because I'm like, I love the game. I love the gameplay, but a lot of the quality of life things are getting under my skin. That's why, again, I do love the game. Believe it or not, I do like it. I just, when you feel very passionate about something, you become very critical.
Well, the thing
'cause
is,
you wanna
like,
see it succeed.
if 3 hockey fans who have played NHL for years, all of a sudden we're like, it is what it is. Like,
yeah.
then they've lost their care for their game. So
Right.
that's why
Well, that's the thing.
that's why we get on it.
I literally have NHL 94 and 95. I have every version of this game since 1992. But for some reason, they're like, nah, dog, we don't care. We don't care. You can have the poopy version.
Well, I
That's all
know
they want to give me.
we were talking about a game coming on Game Pass, but speaking of Xbox, there are some other announcements that went live today as well.
Yeah.
Partner showcase.
I did. I wrote
Did
an
you?
article about it.
What did you think overall?
I thought
Not
it was,
overall. What were some of the things you're excited about?
oof,
Okay. What was what was an announcement you think that one could get excited about if one were so inclined?
nothing was for me in this thing.
Okay. I reframed the question 3 different ways. I feel like a lawyer.
I thought I was actually thought this could have been a blog post.
Fair.
I really did. I was like, really? This was a half an hour? Maybe there was stuff for other people in there, but there was
Mhm.
nothing for me in that thing.
You betcha there was stuff for other people, because the one thing that I got hype about, which you can read about at 3dadsconsole.com, is that Persona 3 Reload is getting an expansion pass. What? Expansion pass in a Persona game in this economy?
No,
You
we didn't.
betcha.
Yes.
So they have given us a 3-tiered roadmap. Typically what Persona does is they'll just come out with a new game, like instead of just patching the other one or like adding additional content. Like Persona 5 got Persona 5 Royal, brand new game, bought both of them. Or they'll do like a dancing game or like Tactica. Like they'll just create a new game, fighting, like whatever it is. But now they're going to add additional content, and let me tell you what it is. On March 12th, which is next week, you will get the first wave, they're calling it, which is just background music for Persona 4 and Persona 5. Again, excellent games, but like I'm learning I love both those games, both those music, but like I'm just kind of vibing with the P3 music, so I'm probably not going to use it. The second one is in May, and you get a costume set for the Velvet Room, and you get some more background music. Again, I feel like that one is just because they need extra time to work on the next wave. So they're just kind of putting something in there, which again, fine. I feel like a lot of the diehard folks will already be done with the story, but
Fine.
it's nice that they're doing it. Why not? But the big wave in September, you're actually getting an additional gameplay. They're calling it episode Aegis dash the answer dash. And if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, it's because I know the character exists. I haven't gotten to that part yet. Where basically it is just wrapping it up one more time. I feel like a little bit what the Royal did. It sounds like to me, it sounds like that they wanted to do more, like add more to it, not just basically remaster it, but they want to add more story, and they might have ran out of time. So instead of rush or delay, this is kind of a compromise, and I'm okay with it. Like, I feel like this is a good decision. Again, I don't know the reason. This is just me guessing, but like, I feel like, I don't know. We don't see that a lot from games. It's more like we're gonna delay the whole thing, or we're gonna half butt it and rush it. So this is a good compromise, and I think that this is actually a pretty decent model for games going forward. If you want additional content, yeah, throw it in there a few months later. Give them 6 months. Why not? And throw a few freebies in there. Why not? As well. So that got me excited. It's cool that they're doing this. It's also, I think, to me, alluding that they're not going to do like a Persona 3 Reload to the streets. Like this is probably the last we're going to see from Persona 3. So if you're a big fan of it, this is kind of its swan song.
I was hoping it was the last we'd see at Persona, but that'll never happen for me.
Never
we also
happen.
got Final Fantasy, right?
Never.
We also got Final Fantasy too. Ooh.
To get ready for Fantasio
Rey
don't know,
Mysterio?
I was very
ready.
disappointed in this partner showcase. I was just like, what is this thing?
Yeah. It felt like an unthemed mishmash of nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like the Persona one was cool. The date for Frostpunk 2 I thought was pretty neat. Just because the first game is fun, if not challenging and punishing. The rest of it I was like,
Was this announced a while ago, or is this a newer announcement in terms of having this?
I feel like I only remember hearing about it like Monday.
Do you think that it was a reaction because people felt a little burned by the last like town hall they did, which was a reaction to fake rumors? So they're like, hey, you know what? We're gonna do something and show you all the cool stuff our folks have. Except
It's possible.
a lot, and I think the biggest flex is that Persona gets more content on Xbox, through the pass and not Sony.
Correct.
But
But yeah, I don't know.
Hannafin's contract is 75% retained.
Who's?
From who?
Hannafin's.
Who's retaining it?
Calgary.
Oh.
How do they have all this money?
Well, he's already under the cap, so
What do you mean? Okay.
he's already under the salary cap, so they can just say like we'll continue paying 75% of the rest of the. How it works is when you get the player, like you have to pay the rest of the contract. So Vegas would have to pay the rest of his 2.5 months. They're keeping 75. Calgary will absorb 75% of that.
That's right. It's prorated at this point. Is it?
Yeah, Calgary could be like, we'll pay for him for the rest of the season. They could do that if they want.
But it's all pro. I mean, at this point, 75% of
the cap hit will
3
carry,
weeks.
But the actual cash is whatever.
I'm thinking of it in terms of franchise, like NHL numbers, which is not
accurate. Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
I've never been a GM before.
Taking
Sorry.
it to the streets. Taking it to the streets.
And you know what? You could still be a better GM than Peter Chiarelli. Hey yo.
Hey.
Take that, Pete's, wherever you are, whatever hole you're.
Than Cam Neely. Oh.
Whatever. Ooh, suck it, Cam.
Dude, Pete Chiarelli just hit pause and took off his headphones and a single tear.
There's no way if he knew that guy.
You almost dropped an actual game award.
I almost did. That guy kicked me out of a Bruins press conference.
What,
really?
Okay. What did you say?
No, it was a phone. It was like the phone press conferences, and I let them know who we were, and they were like, "Mr. Chiarelli says you cannot attend this." Some lady, and I was like, "Okay, fine."
Mr. Chiarelli sends his regards.
Yeah, I was like, "Okay,
I
okay."
don't like you, eh?
No, he did not like us. We were unkind to.
You should have sent him a Christmas card that year from Days of Yore.
No, well, he got fired. So look who's winning now.
Greatest thing ever.
I have 2 excellent stories about the Bruins front office that I will not share on this show.
Oh,
because they have some colorful language in them.
That's actually fair. But aside from that, we ran down everything. Anything else you guys want to leave folks with?
I do want to talk about. There was an article posted this week of somebody that he put out a tweet and he said that Helldivers is being bought by Sony. I love the fact that Helldivers Arrowhead Game Studios is being bought by Sony. I love the fact that the CEO for Arrowhead Game Studios was like, "What are you talking about?" So for all those clout chasers out there, and I find there's especially in hockey, we get to see them with here's the rumor and here's the blah, blah, blah. When people actually do know things every now and then, heck, even I know things every now and then, but I don't go out there and be like, here's the rumor I know. But stop this garbage. Absolutely stop ruining people's, we can't see that. Kevin Weeks, he actually knows stuff. I'm sorry. You're 100% wrong. He played in the show. He knows things. But I'm so tired of seeing stuff like this and saying this person's acquiring this person, or the console war stuff of just recently all these Xbox people are like, well, look, Pentiment's getting better reviews on PlayStation. Well, guess what? I thought Pentiment was a terrible game. If people are liking it, good for them. I did not like that game at all. But that's not a real thing. I think people need to have conflict or make things up to feel worth. And if you can figure out a way to do that without having to do that and still feel good about yourself, please figure that out. Because I'm tired of this garbage. That's all.
It's all about the clicks, baby.
I feel like a lot of journalism has turned that way. It's no longer just here's the news. It's here's I see that a lot from sports stuff where it's huge trade rumored whatever, and it's there's nothing. There's no substance there.
Hence the reason we don't talk about rumors. We don't talk about Bruno,
Well, also as a former Bruins blogger, it's very easy to do, especially with that fan base. You could write anything and all of a sudden it explodes. But it's very easy to be clickbaity to pull people in. It's those who rise above that show actual merit in what they're writing. because it's very, and the same goes for like sports dudes on TikTok. Like it's very easy to just be like, oh yeah, I think Mario Lemieux's great. He has blah 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 goals. Like that's easy. Anyone can talk about that. But like when you can have meaningful conversations about actual like the ins and outs of the game, that's when it matters. Not just being like, oh, I'm gonna write on my blog today. Kevin Weeks reported, and then paste his tweet and then say more on this information. Come to bestbruinsblogger.com.
I just realized as you were saying that my Twitter for hockey is basically what you described. I just retweeted a tweet that said Frank Vetrano can pass Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal record of 1,072 goals tonight if he scores 920 goals against the Senators. I thought that was funny.
That is funny.
And that is also a statement of fact.
But that's funny though, is what
I'm
trying to
am I the drama? Am I part of the problem?
No. That's funny.
But you know where you can get hard-hitting, good advice on games without any biased take or in no bad opinion?
No. Where?
3dadsconsole.com.
Heard about it. Love it.
Yeah.
Know it. Bookmarked it. Love it.
Bookmarked it. That's like throw it in the Rolodex.
it's in my Rolodex.
It's in the decks.
Dexed it.
Pez, any final thoughts for the folks?
R.I.P. Rooster Teeth.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
What are you laughing about? They closed down.
I know. It's just the way you put it. 3 things that aren't around: Bob Marley, the Hartford Whalers, and Rooster Teeth.
Rooster Teeth.
Dude,
I
that's
mean,
crazy.
The Whalers aren't around, but Carolina will still drag its corpse out, so everyone will throw money at it and then shove it back into a closet.
Hey, I forgot to ask you guys, what is your guys' take on WB saying that they're only going to be doing live service games?
WB is made up of absolute dum-dums, and I don't understand how these dudes are still in business. How do you look at a game like Court knew that this was going to get me going. He knew it. How do you look at a game like Hogwarts Legacy that sold 22 million copies, that had 8,000 people playing it the other day, and say, you know what? We're actually going to pivot away from this, and we're going to put out this hot slab of garbage called Suicide Squad, currently on Steam. 300 people are playing it, and even though we gave you cool costumes if you bought the $100 version, imagine paying $100 to get costumes. How dare they? But then these dummies who bought it for $100 went into the store and they were selling colored variants of those same skins for $20. Man, WB is some of the thickest, dumbest, illogical decision-making folks that I have ever had the displeasure of listening to.
Displeasure. Wow. You're not even mincing words.
No, I'm not.
It's like the thing of someone riding a bike and then shoving a stick into his own spoke and being like, "Oh God, how did this happen?" You make good games. What are you doing?
Make good games.
You make games that sell. You make games that review well. You make games for adults. You make games for kids.
Hold on. They did make games that review well.
Yeah, not anymore.
Well, yeah. Shout out more. Like your games are good. But now you've said, you know what? That winning formula we have, let's mix it up.
Well, the issue is, Waba, I think studios have gotten to the point where if they don't make like triple their profit from what the game was made, they're like, yeah, we're not in.
It's so wild to me. Here's my perspective on it, and this is a take I make with my my own personal commerce. If I make money on it, it's not a bad deal. Like straight up, think about it. I can buy something 2 years ago, and I'm looking back. I'm like, man, I didn't know that much. But guess what? It sells, and I make $5. Is it really a bad deal?
But listen, you don't have shareholders at Wabacorp because we're a privately owned business.
Fair, but privately owned. Wonder by who? But think like I just
like Shadow.
If something.
That's what I've been saying. Yeah, that guy blows. Don't. Don't vote him out.
I threw you right off your game. Threw him
Yeah,
right
right.
off.
But like, if it's a game that's making money, like I feel like, why would you change the formula if you are profitable? Or do something different. Get a side team. Don't just
Shareholders.
change everything. Well, guess
Nothing-
what? How much? What's 100% increase of 0? Actually, they have a lot more to lose than they're gonna.
Nothing.
I'm about to short at WB. Not financial advice. I'm about to short at WB.
Let's go,
Wait,
everyone.
Diamond Hands are gonna
Hands
get a hold of this.
Diamond
Nothing.
hands. Wow,
Nothing
this is getting
WB
aggressive.
has done, none of their decision making, not even just in video games, but you look at what they've done in movies, right? And you look at what they did with like Coyote versus Acme, where they had a whole movie done and they just like scrapped it, right? And look at the decisions they made streaming and how they've kind of ruined that whole thing.
Don't talk to me
They
about
are just led.
Batman.
Do you remember-
WB is led by morons. This
Do you remember why they
CEO
took the
is
hit
a
on
dum-dum.
the Coyote movie? Do you remember? Like,
No.
did you like hear about that? Basically,
write-off,
the tax
copyright.
write-off they could get from scrapping the movie was basically they wanted that immediate like dump instead of releasing it and seeing what could happen. Like that thing looked like the next Roger Rabbit. Like, you know, but no, they decide, you know what, we're gonna just ruin whatever. You know, why release something finished when we can just take tax break?
Yeah, there you go. So I mean, this is just what they do. They just make
Numbers.
bad decisions all the time. Because if you look at their single player offerings, the single player offerings are actually really good. But instead they decided to hitch their wagon to very poorly implemented live services like Suicide Squad. And that's just what you're going to see from them. You're going to see chugged out, crappy live service games.
Chuggied.
It's just going to be chugged out of the machine. They're all going to play the same.
Chugs.
The end game is going to be terrible, and they're going to charge you. They're going to nickel and dime you for everything. Oh, you like this Batman skin? Well, if you want the Ben Affleck version of this Batman skin, it's going to cost you $24.
Hold on. No one wants the Ben Affleck version of anything.
If you want the Michael Keaton version of this Batman skin, it is $24.
How dare you use that
$89.
man's name?
I'm just telling you.
They did it to Mortal Kombat
That's
too.
how they do it.
I didn't realize until now. So basically, if you want to get certain fatalities, you had to buy them with coins. You could earn coins through fighting, or you could buy packs of coins.
Yeah.
That's how you unlock fatalities. You can't even use them, even if you know them. If the characters have been around for a while and it's the same input, it's always been. And honestly, like that's one thing about, well, Street Fighter learned their lesson in 5, but 6 came back. But like, it's like you just stop charging us for stuff. We bought the game already. Make it optional. Like let people buy skins. Don't let them buy like fatalities and movesets. What are
But
you
people
doing?
do it, so that's why companies will do it.
I didn't even think about that until you mentioned that.
Yep.
Yeah, they did that with Mortal Kombat. And that's when I stopped playing MK.
Up block. Was that the Scorpion fire face?
I can't remember. It's behind a paywall.
Ooh,
Seriously,
$8.99.
My last bit of advice is if you are going to be going ham on sports cards because the Bedard rookie is out, just remember that those things are going to be highly produced and do not spend.
They're not
more
going to
than
be.
you can.
They're not going to be highly produced, but the fact that it's like $1,000 a box is just asinine.
It's
Sports cards
300
are wild.
300 US for a hobby when usually it was like 150, and for a blaster box when usually it was like, I don't know, 30, it's like 45. Tin is gonna be 90.
I don't even know what these words mean.
Just know that it's gonna be very expensive to get these cards, but I will say these cards, you can get some good players. Patra's part of the rookie class in Extended 2.
Yeah, he's a Bruin, but that's.
Well, you can buy him for $30 right now. Okay, so like, think about those. Do some Bedard hunting. Why not? But just wait a little bit. Things are going to calm down. Whenever a new product comes out, you can even sell the other inserts that aren't worth
This is
anything.
the worst it's ever been, Waba.
Well, it's because you have people who don't know hockey buying these things because they know Bedard is money.
Can I tell you how
people are literally gambling with this?
Box breaking is so popular on TikTok. It's insane. It's insane. People will, and the way they do it is crazy. So how they did it with football is like, they're like, we're going to break this box. And if it's like a special card, like buy the division for $50. And if it's the guy in your division, like you get this thing.
Yeah.
And then, so they're selling $300 worth of divisions to like give someone a card. It's wild.
Mhm.
They do it with they also do it with like autographed helmets, and it has to be a scam. It has to be a scam. It has to be a scam.
There's a streamer I watch. He's like a just chatting stream, but he's been doing magic. He calls it Magic Monday. He just sold. So if you guys are, I'm not a magic
Just
nerd. I'm learning a little bit about it.
Magic
It's an alpha
Monday
starter deck.
Whoa, yeah.
So if you guys don't know, like this
on
is like
my
a
Sunday.
you can't find like video footage of these things being opened up. Like it just doesn't happen. He's doing it. There are 60 cards in this pack. It is out of stock, but a box break for one card, $2,000. And that is no like very minimal profit. Like he's getting money from the YouTube video to do this content. But
Right.
like that's how crazy box breaks are getting, where one card, but it is going to CGC and like, you know, it's getting great. Whatever. But hey,
Still, that's a lot. That's like a mortgage
a lot.
payment
for one box.
for one
But the
box
best
to
My
get
new
a
headband that I'm wearing in my game that I'm playing
yeah.
is Die Hard's headband. So good.
But would you
I'll
pay
wait for that.
$2,000 to break it out of a box?
No.
No.
So it's because
I
people sold
sold
them
all
for
my
investments.
cards, remember?
Well, so people sold old Magic as investment, but he ended up opening some and they were fake. Because people didn't
Yikes.
expect anyone to open it. Anyway, I will get into that now. Folks, if you had fun, please make sure to subscribe to us on
I
youtube.com/3dads
derailed us
and a
so
console.
good today.
That was good. That was good. It really it was hidden inside. I didn't know it was there, and then all of a sudden,
Good job,
wham,
Court.
Wham! It came out.
You made Pez alt.
Yeah. I'm in my Hulk phase.
Morning Green. YouTube.com/3dads and a console. Please subscribe. We got a whole bunch of other videos coming out. A lot of fun reviews, previews, and now scores on your new games that you can check out before you choose to buy or try. Also youtube.com or 3dadsconsole.com for articles on all the games that we like, that we're enjoying, or just other opinion pieces as well, not just the news. And if you are going to PAX East, let us know. We're excited. If you are a video game company, hit us up. If you are just a gamer like us, hit us up. We are very happy to say hi, and we're looking forward to meeting a lot of folks, a lot of our internet friendos. I'm actually going to be able to meet Court for the first time, and he's going to see how tall I am. Please lie. Please lie. Lie to them, please. Lie.
He's not listening. $5 an autograph, by the way, everybody. Just don't...
Oh, sorry. I was reading some trade stuff from somebody in a DM. Not gonna lie to you. Sorry, it's just I have like the
No.
trade of the DeBrusque. He's gone.
Official tissue.
Rumored.
I'm just end this so I can talk about it.
All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. We'll miss you. Bye. Sit
All right,
back. We'll miss you. Bye.
$5 PayPal. Bye.